Okay, so in this video, we're going to learn how to do triple time. Some advice would be, if you have not already learned how to do interrupts, two-handed double time, or one-handed double time, I would go ahead and check that out first. That's going to help you achieve this. The links are going to be in the description box below, and let's just jump into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a drop spin on count 1. So let's go ahead and take that. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 1. From here, I'm going to go ahead and on the and count, put my left hand in and grab it in the strap. So it's going to be 2 bottoms. 5 and 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, bottom, bottom. Or if we do it with counts, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, and. Now from here, what's going to happen is my hand is going to be at my sternum level. I'm going to go ahead and give it a full rotation, and I'm going to re-grab with my left hand. So from here, it's going to go 8, 1, and 2, and. And you want to make sure that it stays at that sternum level. That's going to be super important because the, kind of like the, what do you call it? The pattern of it is going to be low, high, high, low, 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 high, high, low, low, 1, and. So it'll be 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and that's why it's called triple time, because it's in that triplet feel. So let's go ahead and take that with the 3 hand grabs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and. And if I wanted to use my bottom tops, it'll be like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, bottom, bottom, bottom. So what's happening is I'm doing that full spin. I'm going to do a half spin, and then I'm going into a full spin. Now from here, once I do that, I'm now going to go into a half spin, grabbing with my right hand. So I have 1 and 2 and, I'm going to grab with my right hand on 3. You're not going to want to toss it over. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to show you doing it slow motion, but what's going to happen, 1 and 2 and 3. You want your hands to kind of be like crisscross style, and what's going to happen is it's going to drop down, and your right hand is going to grab in the bowl. Now, don't forget, whenever you're doing this, just like with two-handed double time, your right hand is always going to grab on the whole count, and your left hand is going to grab on the and count. That's going to be super important. So if we're going to do it with counts, it's going to go like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3. So from here, what's going to happen is on 3 and, I'm going to go ahead and grab on the top again. So let's go ahead and add that on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So I catch on 3 and I do a half rotation on 3 and in the bowl. Now, if I wanted to say my bottom tops, it's going to sound like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, bottom, 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 top, top. And then it's going to go back and repeat itself. Bottom, 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 top, top. Or low, high, high, low, 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 high, high, low, 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 high, high. And so that's going to be that triplet feel that we're talking about. So let's go ahead and do 3 and 1 counts. So instead of, I'm just going to count these off as triplets. I'm not going to continue on to like count 4, 5, or 6, just so you really understand that triplet feel. So let's go ahead and take it with 3 and 1 counts. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2, and 3 and a 1. And so whenever you do this, when I was saying low, high, high, low, 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 that is the level change, is what I'm saying. When I'm saying the bottom tops, I'm saying the location of my hand grabs on rifle, and then obviously the counts are indicative of which hand is grabbing at what time. I know that's really complicated. I know that's a lot to explain, but those are 3 different ways that you can use in order to learn this exercise that might be helpful for you. So if I'm working on, let's say, my counts, I'm going to be working on my hand grabs. If I'm going to be saying bottom, 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 top, top, I'm going to be making sure that I'm grabbing in the right place And if I say low, high, high, low, 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 high, then it's going to be working on that level change. Because with triple time, you have a level change. So you want to make sure it's low, high, high, low, 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 high, high, low, low, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Almost like a waltz step. So whenever you're doing this exercise, I would just break it down into reps of 3 and 1 counts. So if I do just 1 rep, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and a 1. Now, if I wanted to add another rep, we would have 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And then we would go so on and so forth to a 3rd and a 4th rep. Now, whenever we're doing this triple time, there are 3 different ways that you can stop that are pretty standard. The first way is once you go back into count 1, would just be going into a regular stop. When you do this with triple time or with double time, because you're changing the tempo, it can get a little bit tricky for you to control your rifle. So it's really important that when you're going into that last spin that you're really squeezing and you're thinking about slowing the rotation and the motion down, going into that left flat so that you have a good left flat. So let's go ahead and take 3 and 1 and put a stop on count 2 with just a regular stop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2. So that one can be a little bit tricky just because you're slowing it down. Now the next thing that you could do is you can do an interrupt stop. That's where after you do count 1, your left hand will come in on the strap on count 2, and then it's going to flip to a left flat on count 2. So this is this is 1 and then it would stop on 2. So let me show you that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. So that one is in the same realm with the speed of that triple time. It can just get a little bit handsy at sometimes because you have that left hand that you're putting in before the stop. Now the third way that you can do that, do a stop, is by doing a full single into a left flat. So I'll show you that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2. This one is my personal favorite whenever you get into triple time, just because of the way that it feels. If you do the regular stop or the interrupt stop for the double time, that's probably going to be the best bet for that. But getting into this triple time, just something about that full single stop feels really, really good whenever I'm executing that. So that one is preferably my favorite. But again, it's up to you and your instructor. There is no right or wrong way on technique. So just remember that this is the way that I do things. That doesn't mean this is the way that your organization is going to do things. When it comes to triple time, because we are working into the low-high area, I like to tend to keep this more towards the center of my body. If you watched my other video on two-handed double time, I talked about how some organizations keep this towards the right hip, and sometimes they keep it more towards the center of the body. It's just a personal preference. For my video for one-handed and two-handed double time, I kept it at my right hip to really reinforce my technique on how to execute a great drop spin. And that was just my preference for that video because that's what I was focusing on at that point. But whenever it comes to, doing triple time, it's a little bit different with the hand grabs, so a different technique can apply. So that's a perfect example of, what works for one video might be different for another video. It's, again, just up to the preference of your choreographer or your color guard instructor. I hope my comments were helpful. If you have any kind of questions or anything like that, go ahead and comment below, or if you're one of my students, you can go ahead and send me a message on Remind, or you can send me an email. But that is essentially how you do triple time. And just remember that when it comes to learning, two-handed double time, one-handed double time, or triple time, it's going to be a process. You're going to need to work your way into it. So, If you can learn it in a day, that's great, but it's okay to break things down, and it's okay if you start to get your hands fumbled at a point for you to go back and kind of work your way through it again. So just remember that whenever you're taking these, kind of like, spin medleys and things like that, that there's no right or wrong way to approach learning spins when it comes to spinning at a faster tempo or at a different tempo. So just remember that. I hope my comments were helpful, and that's how you do triple time.